Think about the last time you were struggling. Maybe you were moving heavy furniture, or you were sick with a high fever, or you were completely overwhelmed with work. Did you pick up the phone and call a friend for help? Or did you grit your teeth, suffer through the pain, and do it all by yourself? If you chose to do it alone, even when it was incredibly difficult, you might be suffering from a psychological trait known as hyper-independence. People often mistake this for strength. They see you as capable, reliable, and self-sufficient. They say you are a rock. But deep down, you know the truth. You are not doing everything alone because you want to. You are doing it because the very idea of asking for help makes you feel physically sick. It makes you feel weak, burdensome, and exposed. You have convinced yourself that you are the only person you can truly rely on. But what if I told you that this extreme independence is actually a trauma response? What if your refusal to ask for help is not a sign of maturity, but a sign that you were forced to grow up way too fast?
Today, we are going to explore the psychology of hyper-independence, why you built these walls around yourself, and how you can finally learn to let someone else carry the load for a change. To understand why you never ask for help, we have to look at your history. Hyper-independence is almost never a personality trait you were born with. It is a survival mechanism you learned. For many people, this starts in childhood. Perhaps you had parents who were emotionally unavailable, or parents who were so overwhelmed with their own problems that they had no space for yours. You learned very quickly that expressing a need led to rejection, anger, or simply being ignored. Your brain made a simple calculation. It decided that needing things from other people is dangerous. It decided that the only way to be safe is to need absolutely nothing. So you became your own parent. You learned to soothe your own tears, fix your own problems, and manage your own life before you were even old enough to drive a car. You became an adult when you were still a child. This behavior follows you into adulthood. You become the friend who listens to everyone else's problems but never shares your own. You become the employee who takes on 3 extra projects because you do not trust anyone else to do them right. You build a fortress of competence around yourself. To the outside world, you look perfect. You look like you have it all together. But inside that fortress, you are exhausted. You are lonely. You are carrying a weight that was meant for 2 or 3 people, and your knees are starting to buckle. The tragedy of hyper-independence is that by trying to protect yourself from being hurt, you end up protecting yourself from being loved. You cannot have true connection without vulnerability, and asking for help is the ultimate form of vulnerability. There is also a deep fear of being a burden. You might believe that if you ask for help, people will think you are annoying or needy. You might worry that if you owe someone a favor, they will use it against you later. This transactional view of relationships is a classic sign of trust issues. You treat every interaction like a business deal because you are terrified of being in emotional debt. You would rather struggle in silence for hours than risk annoying someone for 5 minutes.
But here is the reality check that you need to hear. Refusing help is not an act of strength. It is an act of fear. Real strength is knowing your limits. Real strength is having the courage to admit that you are human and that you cannot do everything alone. When you let someone help you, you are not being a burden. You're actually giving them a gift. You are giving them the chance to feel useful, to feel trusted, and to feel close to you. Think about how good it feels when you help someone else. Why do you deny that feeling to the people who love you? So how do you break this cycle? You do not have to tear down the walls all at once. You just need to put in a door. Start with what psychologists call micro-asks. Ask someone to pass you the salt. Ask someone to hold the door. Ask a friend for a movie recommendation. These are tiny, low-risk requests that prove to your brain that the world will not end if you rely on someone else. Slowly, you can build up the bigger things. You can say, "I'm having a hard time today," or "Could you help me with this?" If you recognize yourself in this description, I want you to take a deep breath.
You have carried the world on your shoulders for long enough. It is okay to put it down. You are worthy of support. You are worthy of care. You do not have to earn your place in the world by being useful. You are allowed to simply exist and be helped. If you are a hyper-independent person, leave a comment below and tell me what is the hardest thing for you to ask for. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the psychology of the silent, strong ones. Remember, we are in this together. I will see you in the next one.